Joey Swoll breaks down in tears over Hulk Hogan tribute backlash. Full story and emotional apology. Joey Swoll just released one of the most emotional apology videos the internet has ever seen, and the fitness world is in shock. In this exclusive video, we take you deep inside the full story, from Joey's controversial tribute to Hulk Hogan following his tragic death, to the brutal backlash that forced him offline, and the emotional apology that left millions stunned. This isn't just about a mistake, it's about accountability, legacy, and what real strength looks like when the cameras are off. We explore the raw truth behind Joey's breakdown, the pain fans expressed, and how this viral moment turned into something much bigger than anyone expected. Whether you're a wrestling fan, fitness follower, or simply someone trying to understand what happens when grief meets social media, you won't want to miss this one. Joey Swoll, fitness influencer, internet personality, and self-proclaimed CEO of Gym Positivity, just broke down in tears on camera. In a dimly lit room, with no gym lighting, no pumped-up background music, and no motivational slogans flashing across the screen, Joey faced the camera and, finally, himself. His voice was shaking, his face blotched from crying, and his words? Words that stunned fans, haters, and critics alike. "I disrespected a legend," he said. "And I'm sorry not just to his family, but to every person who ever looked up to Hulk Hogan." It wasn't long ago that Joey Swoll, known for calling out toxic behavior in the fitness world, found himself at the center of an entirely different storm. One that had nothing to do with gym etiquette and everything to do with history, respect, and the legacy of one of wrestling's most iconic figures, Hulk Hogan. The timeline begins just days after the tragic announcement of Hulk Hogan's death at the age of 71 from cardiac arrest. The wrestling world, the entertainment industry, and millions of fans across generations were plunged into mourning. Hulk Hogan wasn't just another WWE superstar. He was the WWE superstar. A man whose voice, presence, and charisma defined the golden era of professional wrestling. The man who told the world to say their prayers and take their vitamins. The man whose red and yellow colors became symbolic of American pop culture in the 1980s. Whether you loved him or hated him, you remembered Hulk Hogan. So when Joey Swoll took to Instagram on the morning after Hogan's passing to post a brief tribute, one many would soon describe as insensitive, performative, and even mocking, he ignited a firestorm that not even he saw coming. It was a short video, just under 30 seconds. In it, Joey was seen doing bicep curls in a red bandana and yellow tank top, much like Hogan used to wear. He flexed once, looked at the camera, and muttered, "Rest in peace to the legend." "You got me started, brother." The video racked up hundreds of thousands of views in hours, but not for the reasons Joey expected. Comments poured in, some praising the tribute, but a growing majority called it tone-deaf, cringy, and self-promotional. One user commented, "You turned a man's death into your workout content." Another wrote, "This wasn't about Hulk Hogan. This was about you." And then came the bigger accusations. People began resurfacing Hulk Hogan's controversial past, particularly the 2015 scandal in which WWE terminated his contract after audio surfaced of him using racial slurs. "You're promoting a racist," some said. "Why are you idolizing him at all?" That's when the backlash turned viral. Overnight, #JoeySwoll was trending, but not in celebration. Memes spread. Old footage of Joey reprimanding others for gym behavior was used against him. One tweet said, "So it's okay to film someone else for clout, but not okay when it's you?" Fitness creators began chiming in. Some defended him, saying the tribute was genuine. Others distanced themselves quickly. Within 24 hours, Joey's Instagram comment section was flooded. And then his account vanished. Deleted. Scrubbed clean. The silence was deafening. For 3 days, nothing. No posts. No tweets. No TikToks. Joey Swoll, a man who built his brand on daily motivation, daily callouts, daily reminders to be a better human, disappeared. But behind the scenes, something was breaking. And no one expected what came next. On the 4th day, Joey Swoll re-emerged. Not with a gym video. Not with a repost. But with a nearly 6-minute long, unedited apology video. No music. No transitions. Just him, shirtless, exhausted, emotionally undone, sitting on a bare bench in what looked like his home gym. His eyes were puffy. His voice was hoarse. And before he even spoke, you could see he had been crying. "I didn't get it," he began, voice cracking. "I really didn't get it." What followed was a confession, not just of guilt, but of ignorance. "When I posted that video, I thought I was honoring a hero," he said. "I didn't think about how it might look. I didn't think about what he meant to different people. I didn't even think about his past controversies. I just thought about what he meant to me." He paused, visibly struggling to continue. "I was that bullied kid," he added. "The skinny kid who hated himself. I saw Hulk Hogan once on TV when I was 10 years old, and for the first time in my life, I thought, maybe I could be strong too. That's the part one tried to share. That's the moment I was trying to honor. But I messed it up." As the camera rolled, Joey recounted the messages he received, some cruel, some constructive, but all powerful. "One person told me, 'You use someone's death to build your brand.' That hit me the hardest. Because I don't ever want to be that guy." Then his voice dropped. "But maybe I was." Tears welled up again. "I deleted everything because I didn't know what else to do," he continued. "I felt ashamed. I felt like I let everyone down. And worse, I let down the guy who once inspired me. Whether you think Hogan deserves respect or not, he was someone who made a difference in my life. But I took that and made it about me. That's not what a tribute is. That's not what respect looks like." The apology struck a chord, not just for its content, but its tone. Joey wasn't defensive. He wasn't blaming the woke mob or brushing off criticism. He took responsibility. In full. Without qualifiers. Without ifs or buts. And perhaps most importantly, he didn't try to rewrite Hogan's legacy. "I've read everything in the past few days," he admitted. "The things he said in 2015? I didn't know the full extent. And now that I do, I understand why people are hurt. I'm not here to tell anyone how to feel about him. I'm not here to defend what's indefensible. I'm just here to say, I was wrong." Social media, once ablaze with fury, grew quiet. Then slowly, a new wave began, support. Comments began to shift. "This is what accountability looks like," one person wrote. Another said, "You didn't have to come back. But you did. And you did it right." Some still criticized him. Others still questioned the timing. But what was undeniable was the emotion. The sheer vulnerability. The image of a man once known for physical strength, breaking down, not under a barbell, but under the weight of truth. Fitness influencers rarely get personal. Vulnerability is often polished, curated, cropped, and filtered. But here was Joey Swoll, raw, exposed, and finally quiet. In the days following, the video spread like wildfire. Not because of scandal, but because it represented something rare in today's internet culture, an apology that felt real. Major outlets picked it up. TMZ ran a piece titled, "Joey Swoll apologizes to Hulk Hogan fans. I got it wrong." Sports Illustrated called the video an unexpected masterclass in accountability. Even pro wrestlers took notice. One anonymous WWE Hall of Famer told reporters, "You don't see that often, someone actually taking a moment to say, 'I hurt people, and I'm sorry.'" Joey showed more courage than most. What makes this story so captivating isn't just that a fitness influencer made a mistake, it's that he faced it head on. And in doing so, he turned what could have been a PR nightmare into a moment of growth, not just for himself, but for a lot of people watching. In a world where apologies are often performative, Joey stood out. It wasn't for sponsors. It wasn't to save face. It was a man realizing the shadow of his idol was longer than he thought, and that respect doesn't come from mimicry, but understanding. And it begs the question, in a digital world where everyone has a platform, are we listening to each other? Or are we just performing for likes? Joey's breakdown. His tears, his reckoning, offered a rare glimpse into what it looks like when a man raised by the gym is confronted with something he can't flex his way out of. And in that moment of collapse, many fans saw something unexpected. They saw strength. The aftershocks of Joey Swoll's video rippled far beyond the fitness community. On Reddit forums, in WWE fan groups, and across YouTube commentary channels, the conversation expanded. What does it mean to honor a complicated legacy? How do we reconcile personal inspiration with public controversy? For Joey, the days following his video release were quiet, but not without weight. He didn't immediately return to regular posting. There were no new gym positivity clips, no brand deals or gym selfies. Instead, he disappeared once again. But this time, it didn't feel like running. It felt like reflection. Speculation began. Some questioned whether the apology had hurt his business. Was gym positivity in trouble? Was Joey facing pressure from sponsors or management teams to lay low? But insiders close to him told a different story, one of introspection, not strategy. According to a former content assistant, Joey had been emotionally wrecked by the fallout, and even more so by the story shared with him privately. One DM, according to the source, read, "Hulk Hogan helped me survive childhood abuse. You turned him into a punchline." That message reportedly haunted Joey. And yet, others defended him fiercely. A countermovement began to take shape, a narrative that perhaps the apology wasn't about cancel culture, but culture correction. A culture where grief is no longer performative and admiration is allowed to be complex. In this gray space, something else began to happen. The legacy of Hulk Hogan was itself being re-examined. For decades, Hogan was the face of strength, charisma, and larger-than-life performance. His 24-inch pythons, his iconic voice, his ear-cup taunt, and his unmatched presence made him the face of the WWF/WWE era. But behind that legacy sat a shadow, a darker chapter that resurfaced in 2015 when a private recording exposed Hogan using racist language. The WWE immediately distanced itself. Contracts were canceled. Merchandise pulled. His Hall of Fame status was quietly removed from their website. For years, he vanished from WWE programming. When he returned, it was under strained public scrutiny. Some forgave. Others didn't. For many in the Black wrestling community and their allies, the wound never truly healed. And now, almost a decade later, that pain returned, amplified by a viral gym tribute. Joey Swoll had unknowingly reopened a national conversation about Hulk Hogan, redemption, and the responsibility influencers bear when choosing who to elevate. He wasn't the first to post about Hogan's passing. But he was the first to post about it in a way that felt performative, even if unintentional. The backlash wasn't about tribute. It was about tone, about timing, about the optics of turning a deeply personal cultural moment into another 30-second gym clip. And Joey knew it. That was clear in every syllable of his apology. "I wish I could take it back," he said. "Not because I'm scared, but because I realize I didn't listen. And that's on me." In a particularly revealing part of the video, Joey admitted he never knew the full story about Hogan's racial controversy. "I didn't know the details," he said. "And I realize that's not an excuse. That's ignorance. I should have educated myself. I should have done better." It was a critical distinction, not just admitting wrongdoing, but owning the why behind the mistake. And that's why the apology resonated. One media expert later commented, "What Joey Swoll did here is a textbook example of how to confront a public misstep. He didn't gaslight. He didn't pivot. He didn't pass blame. He leaned in. He felt the heat, and he stayed." In the days that followed, something else unusual happened. WWE superstars, past and present, began weighing in. Though most kept it subtle, a few couldn't ignore the virality of Joey's video. Booker T tweeted simply, "Respect is earned." Joey took his hit and stood tall. That's man stuff right there. Trish Stratus reposted the video with the caption, "Healing starts when honesty shows up." Even The Miz, who rarely comments on influencer drama, said during a podcast appearance, "I didn't know who Joey Swoll was last week. Now I think I respect him more than half the dudes in my gym." The public discourse evolved. Joey's apology video became more than just a response. It became a mirror. Viewers began reflecting not only on Hulk Hogan's legacy, but on their own willingness to forgive, to challenge, and to learn. Was Joey Swoll guilty of malice? No. But he was guilty of short-sightedness. And the maturity to own that turned him from antagonist to advocate in the eyes of many. And still, there were skeptics. A faction of internet critics suggested the entire event was orchestrated, a PR stunt meant to refresh Joey's image. They pointed to the high-quality lighting, the carefully chosen gym bench, and the way the camera caught tears without shaking. Too clean to be real, one Redditor wrote. If he's crying, who's filming? But those closer to Joey pushed back. One longtime friend, who asked not to be named, said he didn't want to upload it. I told him he should. He was in tears. He couldn't sleep for 3 days. He was scared people would never see him the same. But I told him, this isn't about saving face. It's about showing yours. And Joey did. He showed his face. His real face. Not the meme-worthy, flexjaw alpha of fitness TikTok, but the man underneath. The man who, at 10 years old, sat in front of a television and saw Hulk Hogan as a symbol of power when he felt powerless. The man who, at 34, now realized that power comes from listening, from learning, and from letting others see you break. A week later, Joey quietly returned to Instagram. Not with a reel. Not with a workout. But with a black and white photo of Hulk Hogan from WrestleMania 3. No caption. Just the image. And in the comments, Joey wrote a single pinned reply. Legacy is never one thing. Neither is grief. Thank you for hearing me out. It was a quiet return, but a meaningful one. Across the internet, the chaos began to calm. Joey's video stopped trending. The headlines faded. But what remained was something more lasting, a template. A blueprint for how public figures can and should handle moments of reckoning. Not by hiding, not by spinning, but by speaking. With truth, with tears, with tension. Because in the end, this story was never just about Hulk Hogan. It was about all of us. About how we idolize. About how we react. About how we forgive, and when we do not. Joey Swoll is still a fitness influencer. Still a voice in the gym culture space. But now he's something else too. He's a reminder. That strength isn't measured by biceps or bench press. Sometimes strength is saying, I was wrong. I'm sorry. And I'm learning. And in a digital age filled with noise, that might just be the most powerful flex of all. In the week that followed, the world kept turning, but something in Joey Swoll's life had shifted irreversibly. Gone was the unshakable bravado that defined his daily content. In its place, a quieter presence emerged. No longer the gym floor sheriff, Joey had become, in his own words, a man rebuilding his foundation. The fitness world, usually loud and unapologetically motivational, found itself at a rare crossroads. Influencers began posting their own reflections. Not just on Hulk Hogan's legacy, but on the power dynamics of influence itself. One creator, with over 1 million followers, wrote in a caption, "If Joey Swoll can look inward and admit when he got it wrong, what's stopping the rest of us?" But that wave of self-awareness wasn't universal. There were still voices pushing back, voices who felt that Joey had capitulated to outrage culture, who believed the apology was unnecessary, who accused the world of digging too deep into an honest mistake. One notable fitness coach even made a response video titled, "Why I'm Not Apologizing for Honoring Hulk Hogan." In it, he declared, "People are too soft. Hogan made mistakes. We all do. But we can't rewrite history just because the internet says so." That video gained traction too, but not the kind that sticks. The tone felt defiant in a moment that called for empathy. And the contrast made Joey's apology shine even brighter. Still, Joey never responded. Not once. Not to criticism. Not to praise. He didn't repost tweets. He didn't defend himself. He didn't monetize the moment. That silence spoke volumes. What most people didn't see was what was happening behind the scenes. According to someone from his management team, Joey received dozens of offers, podcasts, interviews, exclusive YouTube documentaries. Some platforms offered large payouts for exclusive rights to his first post-scandal sit-down. One tabloid even offered to fly him out for a multi-part redemption arc. He turned them all down. Instead, Joey spent that week privately reaching out to fans and followers who had messaged him during the backlash. Some of the most powerful conversations, he later admitted, were with fans who had experienced racism and told him how painful it was to see someone they respected elevate Hogan without context. One user, a black bodybuilder in Atlanta, wrote, "You didn't just remind me of Hogan, you reminded me of how easy it is for people to forget." That message struck Joey hard. In his next live stream, his first public interaction since the video, he read that comment aloud. His hands trembled. "I want to thank the person who sent this," he said, voice cracking. "You didn't attack me. You educated me. You helped me grow." That stream was different from any he had done before. No workout tips. No callouts. No energy drinks. Just Joey, sitting on a simple chair in a plain room, opening up about grief, shame, growth, and forgiveness. He said, "I used to think being strong meant standing your ground no matter what. But now I think real strength is standing down when you realize you've been standing in the wrong place." The live chat exploded with hearts and crying emojis. Messages of support flooded in. And for once, the gym community wasn't just talking about sets and reps, they were talking about humanity. Meanwhile, the legacy of Hulk Hogan itself was being pulled into the spotlight in ways it hadn't in years. Documentary crews began revisiting his story. Old interviews were re-uploaded. Some painted Hogan as a flawed hero, others saw him as a man who never fully reckoned with his past. But the renewed attention sparked important conversations, especially among younger fans who had never lived through Hogan's peak and only knew him through soundbites and scandals. WWE, for its part, remained relatively quiet. They released a standard tribute package acknowledging Hogan.